All right, guys, we're going to learn one more way to factor polynomials. So this is called factor by grouping. So we're going to see polynomials like this, where we have primarily 4 terms. However, it could work for any even number of terms. So 4, 6, 8 terms. Okay. Our goal is always to split our polynomial in half. Okay. So we're going to put parentheses around the first half, parentheses around the second half. Now we're going to look at that first piece and say, what can I factor out of a 2x squared and a 4xy? Okay, well, I can take a 2x out. That leaves me with an x plus 2y. Similarly, we look at this second piece and ask ourselves, what can I take out of a 7x and a 14y? You can take a 7, leaving you with an x plus 2y. Okay, now looking at this piece, they share what's in parentheses. So if you think back here, we took out a 2x and wrote the leftovers in parentheses. Well, now we're going to take out the x plus 2y and write the leftovers in a set of parentheses. So we have x plus 2y that we took from each piece. We factored it out, and then we write what's left over. Well, there's a 2x and there's a plus 7 left over. This is our polynomial that we started with, completely factored. Let's look at another example. Okay, 3y squared plus 3y minus 8y cubed minus 8y. Okay, split it in half. Now this one's a little different when we split it into our parentheses. Since this is a minus, we automatically have to change this sign. Okay, because when we distribute minus over here, it changes back to a minus like our original problem. Okay, so anytime there's a minus, when you split it into your groups, make sure to switch that very last sign. Okay, only when it's a minus. Now, what can you factor out here? Well, you can take a 3 from each term. And in this term, you can take an 8y. So I did that. I factored out a 3. That left us with a y squared plus 1. Then I factored out an 8y, leaving us with a y squared plus 1. Again, if you look, our parentheses are the same. So I'm going to factor that out, and then we write what's left over in parentheses. So 3 minus 8y is what's left over after we factor this y squared plus 1 out. Okay, here's another one. 45a cubed b minus 15a cubed plus 15a squared b minus 5a squared. Okay, since there's 4 terms, we split it into groups. Our first term, we can take a 15a cubed out. Our second set of parentheses, we can take a 5a squared out. That leaves us with a 3b minus 1 that we factor out, leaving us with 15a cubed plus 5a squared. Now, typically we've been done, but we look at this parentheses and we can factor that further. We can take a 5a squared from both of these terms. So this 3b minus 1 hasn't changed. We kind of just ignore it. And then we look at this piece and we say, let's factor out that 5a squared, which leaves us with a 3a plus 1. Now, technically, this could be my final answer. However, I don't like having that 5a squared in the middle. So what I'm going to do is write that out in front on the left side. Okay, and we still have our 3b minus 1 and our 3a plus 1. So I'd like you guys to practice factoring this problem by grouping.